Little Shop of Horrors is a 1986 film which ended up having two different endings. Apparently test audiences at the time really hated the first ending, wherein both the lead guy and girl die and evil wins. I think one of the problems was the audience was enjoying this nice guy wants girl romantic comedy musical thing, wanting to see the two of them eventually end up together, but of course then the story killed off the girl, so that was the end of that storyline. And then of course things get even more tragic when the guy dies and the evil monster wins. So the filmmakers just made a completely different ending, wherein the couple do get to defeat the monster and live happily ever after, with just a hint of an ending that later problems are going to arise. Nowadays, of course, a lot of people like to debate online which was the superior ending, with reasons apparently being that the first one is more edgy or it's trendy or something, to prefer the depressing ending to the happy one, or the original intention of the movie was to be a critique of capitalism, it's a commentary on consumerism, or something or other. So for which one shall I argue? I think the theatrical happy ending is the one I'm gonna go with, simply because that's the only one that makes some kind of sense. Because that first one was just too impossible for purely logistical reasons. Have a look at this. Here people are in a supermarket buying themselves the Audrey 2s. Some people actually have more than one. So what are they saying here? That hundreds, thousands, millions of people bought themselves a plant or two or three of these, and as we know from the story, all these millions of people are now gonna have to drain their blood for these millions and millions of plants, and later they'll have to kill millions of people a day to feed their millions and millions of plants, and that requires that they all be okay with it, they all get away with it, nobody ever bans these plants, and let's face it, the plant just isn't that interesting. It certainly isn't worth all that trouble when you can just buy a normal plant that only requires water and soil, and you don't have to turn into a psycho killer for it. Which are people gonna choose? Yeah, got you thinking now, hey? Nobody would ever want an Audrey 2 plant. Nobody's ever gonna stick it out until the plant is grown. And of course once word spreads, because obviously on such a huge scale you cannot keep it secret, like Seymour did when he was the only one.
Let's face it, how am I supposed to keep on feeding you? Kill people?
Then yeah, it's just not quite possible for this thing to happen. So no, I don't see this ending actually happening, realistically, even in this little made-up universe. A plant talking, that I can believe, but all these other things to make this ending actually happen, no man, no, let's not be ridiculous now. Meanwhile, don't feed any plants that want to eat you. Over! Yeah.